What's up, guys? It's Mimi, the ALE Prince, here to give you a booking of what SummerSlam should look like in my eyes. Personally, I'm not digging the card. I mean, for the most part, I'm not digging the build-up. These matches that we are building up to, they actually look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, they look pretty amazing. Like, I would watch these matches for sure. The problem is just how they're basically placing these matches. They look awful as shit. But normally it's a card that should be looking good, and some of the matches that do look good, I don't want to see Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler again. I've seen that match. Hell, we had an Iron Man match, for fuck's sakes. And Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, yeah, give me a fucking break. Who's gonna cheer that? Hell, if anything, people are gonna leave. They don't give a shit if Braun Strowman or Kevin Owens, whoever wins the briefcase, cash in. They deserve to do a better job. The only one who's trying are SmackDown, and they're not even 100%, but still they're doing the best that they can. But let's just go through what I would have done. And some of you guys might be mad at the kickoff because the kickoff has some people that doesn't deserve the kickoff. But honestly, just grow up, people. Just because they're in the kickoff, sometimes, I mean, Ric Flair was in the kickoff of WrestleMania 23. Do people still say that they buried him? No, they don't give a shit at the end of the day. So don't be throwing that burying shit out. Just throw that shit out of the way. Just grow up. But because of that, I have a bunch of smaller kickoff matches. I have Rusev and Lana versus Andrade Cien Almas and Selena Vega in a mixed tag team match on the kickoff. Just a fun little match to kick off. No pun intended. Kick off the hype for SummerSlam. I think it could be a decent little match. Obviously, I'll have Rusev and Lana win, but that doesn't mean the end of Almas' career. That just means that he's just slowly getting built up. Just because people lose all the time doesn't mean they're necessarily buried unless you book him with a storyline, which I'll get to with my first official card match, but I'll get to that later. Cedric Alexander versus Drew Gullak is the next match on the kickoff for the Cruiserweight Championship. It's pretty obvious it's going to be on the kickoff. I don't really mind it being on the kickoff, but I definitely would want to see Drew Gullak win the championship. Give the Cruiserweight Championship a little bit more different tone of it. I mean, Cedric Alexander has done a fantastic job. He's He's probably the only one who's felt like a legit champion thus far, but I would have Drew Gullak win it just so we can have something new and fresh on 205 Live, because the ratings are really, really low. No matter how, I don't know, they're just not doing that great of a job as far as ratings go. But maybe Drew Gullak winning the championship could be oh shit, we could see something new on 205 Live. But it'll get people watching for a little bit. So I would have Drew Gullak win, and I like him. He's charismatic. He has a different style of wrestling. He's different than everybody else, so I like that on people. Then the final match for the Raw Tag Team Championships is a B Team versus Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. Basically, I would have the B Team win, and then that's when Bray Wyatt just leaves. He just says, I'm done with this. I'm done with this era, this Woken Universe. And that's when you push the Woken Universe to fruition. You finally do something unique with it. Maybe you bring new characters to the Woken Universe. So that would be a great thing to do. So this could... I mean, the only reason why people are not buying the Woken Universe because Michael Cole's retarded ass fucked it all up for everybody because he hated it. So, fuck you, Michael Cole. Anyways, now on to the main show. Braun Strowman versus Finn Balor for the Money in the Bank briefcase. Now, why would I have this match? Pretty simple. To give Finn Balor a story. Because Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman, it was pretty good what they did when they threw Braun Strowman off the steel cage. That way Kevin Owens has a victory, but he looks strong. But we also need believability in the WWE. We need people to believe that, people actually get injured. This is serious. That's what people are lacking. They're just oh, look, they're on Twitter. They're all right. You got to start pushing the whole reality. But basically, I will have Finn Balor, after he's done with Constable Corbin and that shit already, he goes for Braun Strowman because he has been dying to be Universal Champion for the past couple of years, and he just says, I'm done with this. I need to be Universal Champion, and the only way to do it is if I get that briefcase that I should have won at Money in the Bank. So Braun Strowman says that he doesn't want to. He's not even that tough. By the way, no Demon Finn Balor. I think we should save Demon Finn Balor for WrestleMania 35. But yeah, I would have Finn Balor versus Braun Strowman here. Basically, Finn Balor's trying his hardest to win because he wants to be Universal Champion, but the only way to do that is winning that briefcase. But Braun Strowman was just too much for him. So it will be a perfect way of mixing a story with wrestling. So that is what it's missing. And then by the end of the match, Braun Strowman holds the briefcase just strong and tall. And then Finn Balor has like a standing ovation like they do in NXT. So that would be really nice to do. Bludgeon Brothers versus New Day should be my next match. Now, a lot of people are predicting Cesaro and Sheamus to be fighting instead of the Bludgeon Brothers. But the only reason why I want to do this match instead is because I would have the Bludgeon Brothers win. And then afterwards, the Big E turns on Kofi Kingston and Big E. That way, Big E and Xavier Woods. That way we have the New Day finally break up, and we have something to watch after SmackDown. Like, something unique to watch on SmackDown. Now we got a reason to watch SmackDown. So let's break up the New Day. Let's give a little hype. Let's push Big E to the moon. Kofi Kingston could be a pretty good undercard talent, and Xavier Woods has admitted that he would rather be the manager of Big E or Kofi Kingston. Hell, why don't he just attack Kofi Kingston, maybe get Kofi the pinfall? Xavier Woods and Big E had enough, so they beat the crap out of him, and they basically turn on Kofi Kingston. That way we have Kofi Kingston do things on his own, and then Big E does and Xavier Woods do their own thing. So that would be great TV wise, and you know, it'll give us a reason to stick around with the WWE. Next match, Shinsuke Nakamura, Jeff Hardy, and Randy Orton, Triple Threat US Championship match. This is basically a way of mixing different types of generations. The New Era, the Attitude Era, and the Ruthless Aggression Era, all mixed up in one match. And it will be a great little back and forth. Sometimes you just need a good match in there just to have it. And the stories thus far has been probably the better storyline out of all the matches going on this far. So I would have Shinsuke Nakamura win, and then Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton continue their feud, and then Shinsuke Nakamura can move on to somebody else. Next match, Carmella defends her SmackDown Women's Championship against Asuka, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. Now, Becky Lynch got her fair rematch, but Asuka got screwed over at Extreme Rules, so then she's added to the match, and then Charlotte beats Carmella, so now she's added to the match, and Becky Lynch is just sick of, like, Charlotte and Asuka and all these other women taking the spotlight when she deserves her moment. Damn, she should have really won the Women's Battle Royal, honestly. Not Naomi, because there's really nothing to do with Naomi other than put her with the Usos right now. But yeah, they should have Becky Lynch winning. But anyways, this match, it will be a good back and forth with all the women. They all show their skills. They show that Becky Lynch is tired of Charlotte taking the spotlight, so she just goes aggressive on her, turning her heel, and then they can continue their feud after SmackDown. But the winner would be Asuka. That way, it will show that Asuka is definitely the toughest woman in the match. Asuka wins the championship, and then afterwards we build up for Asuka Charlotte 2 down the road, maybe at Evolution. That could be a perfect main event for the show. They could have it at I wouldn't want to say WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure they're saving Rousey and Charlotte for WrestleMania, but they could save it for a different show. So and finally we could give Asuka a redemption for good. Because now it would make sense, because Charlotte's the only one who could beat her, and the only way Carmella beat her is with James Ellsworth, who recently got fired, I guess. I don't know what the hell is the thing with them firing James Ellsworth every once in a while. But yeah, that would be the match. Asuka winning, so that would be great. Next match, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins in a street fight. Basically, this is just balls to the walls everywhere. Drew McIntyre has some good back and forth with Roman Reigns. I would want to see that match, actually. Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, that sounds like a stiff brawl. Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins, basically, they continue their feud for the IC Championship. They've had enough. The only way to stop Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, basically, Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre had a mission to take on the top guys. That way they could bump themselves up to the to the upper mid carders, you could say, or the main event at most. So that's basically what they're building up to. And then that's when you do Dean Ambrose coming back. I'll have Dean Ambrose come back, screw over Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Basically, that's it. It's over. And then Dolph Ziggler gets a pin on Roman Reigns. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler win. And then that ends with the match ends with Dean Ambrose hitting chair shots to Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins back and forth. And basically we have an official Dean Ambrose heel turn. I heard he doesn't want to come back anymore, but I think if they turn him heel and they do something creative with him with the Shield, I think this could be like a good stepping point to the right direction now. So I definitely would want to see that. Next up, Daniel Bryan versus The Miz, with Daniel Bryan's career on the line. Now, there's talks that Daniel Bryan does not want to come back to the WWE, which I don't fucking blame him at any cost. But let's do something different. Let's have The Miz put Daniel Bryan's career on the line. Basically, Miz saying like, yeah, it's so easy that you want to leave because you just can't hang because your time is up. I mean, they've done a good job of building this up. Basically, let's have The Miz say that all you want to do is wrestle at the top, but in reality, you just are not a top guy. You'd rather be in the bingo halls promoting Japan wrestling and all this stuff, which is true. Just have him go all the way. And then we have The Miz put a contract for Daniel Bryan's career, but this is a different kind of contract. If he loses, not only does he not wrestle in the WWE anymore, but he can't go to ROH, he can't go to New Japan, he can't go to other promotions. So, we have that match. And then Daniel Bryan beats The Miz, fair and square. And then, whether or not Daniel Bryan wants to re-sign or not, we'll just have at it. My guess is he won't. So, I really don't care. I'm cool with whatever Daniel Bryan's decision is, because honestly, he's the highlight of the show. So, can't wait for that, whatever he does. Next match, Samoa Joe beats AJ Styles for the WWE Championship. This match is already happening. This is probably the one with the best feud, other than Hardy, Orton, and Nakamura. But Styles and Joe, I mean, they find a way to make every one of their matches unique. And personally, I did not want to see this match because I've seen so many of them in TNA that I didn't want to see them. But I'm cool with what they do now. Definitely am up for the story that they've been telling. Just keep up their good work, keep up the good promos, keep up the hype. Just have these two beat the crap out of each other, and at the end, Samoa Joe becomes WWE champion. Now, there's a theory that they want to have AJ Styles be the longest running WWE champion. Like, they want him to beat CM Punk's record, they want him to beat Brock Lesnar's record, and the only way they're gonna do that is if they take the fucking belt off Lesnar, and they have another legit person that they know is gonna stick around for a while. Because I know AJ Styles is retiring soon, so who knows how long he'll decide to stick around. So Joe wins the belt, and plus this is a perfect way to build up Joe and John Cena in the future. So I can't wait for that. And hopefully Cena does come back to fight Joe. I want to see that match badly, and hopefully soon, because Joe, I'll admit, Joe is kind of slower now. Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. Now, the feud should strictly be Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey. No Stephanie McMahon getting in the way. No Kurt Angle getting in the way. None of this authority bullshit. They just have Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss. The feud is just basically them. How Alexa Bliss screwed over Ronda Rousey to be women's champion. Alexa Bliss cheats. She basically takes advantage of Ronda Rousey's suspension to win the championship back at Extreme Rules from Nia Jax. And then Ronda Rousey says, basically, that's it. I'm done. The only way to do it is by taking it myself. So, Ronda Rousey, Alexa Bliss at SummerSlam. We built this up as a match that wants to, it's basically Ronda Rousey trying to beat the shit out of Alexa Bliss. And then at the end, Alexa Bliss cheats to win. No, nobody interferes. No Mickie James, none of that shit. She gets the pinfall. Alexa Bliss is still Raw Women's Champion, because we could continue this story on for a while, because there's really no other top women to beat them. If anything, they should main event Evolution. That's when Ronda Rousey wins. But yeah, I think Alexa Bliss should keep the belt for a little bit more, so that would be good for us. Then the main event, Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley. It's pretty obvious. Why else bring Bobby Lashley if you're not gonna do this fucking match? It's the perfect match to do it. It's definitely gonna be the best match of the show, if not one of. It's just basically, it could be a good hype match because think about it, 2 former UFC fighters coming back to WWE where they belonged, and they just beat the crap out of each other. And of course, we could finally properly use that story of how Bobby Lashley wants to do this for his family and stuff like that. And hopefully it's not as corny as the shit with Sami Zayn, obviously, because if I were in charge of WWE, I would easily fire Rodak. Hell, I'll beat the shit out of him and then fire him. I don't care if I'm like, I'll get in trouble, but at least I'll go out as a hero. But anyways, Bobby Lashley beats Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. And then next we have Braun Strowman coming out. He does not cash in. They just stare at each other, basically hyping up the next feud for Bobby Lashley. Basically Bobby Lashley and Braun Strowman next pay-per-view. Let's go. That will be exciting. So basically I left everything with a cliffhanger. And that's what SummerSlam should be. They should have good matches with good cliffhangers and stuff setting you up for the future. And I think that's the perfect way to do it. So now you have a reason to watch WWE next. Watch more WWE. Watch the product. And that will give you what I predict is a solid show. They give you something new with something old. Some, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know the card looks similar to what we're getting right now, but at least I'm telling you how to build up the feud without like all this corporate shit like Corbin getting in the way and Ronda, Stephanie McMahon's dumbass getting in the way. Like, it's just people fighting because they either hate each other or they want something out of it. So that's gonna be that personally would be my show. I wonder what matches you would do differently. I was gonna put John Cena and Joe, but John Cena's nowhere to be found, so who knows when he's coming back. So that's my card. It's me, the ALE Double X Prince. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until then, I'm out.